Okay, so today we are doing dividing with decimals. Again, this is something that you've already done, so it's really just a review. The only part that's new is throwing in negative numbers. The rules for dividing with negatives are exactly the same as multiplication. It's those two simple rules. If the signs are the same, your answer is always positive. And if the signs are different, your answer is always negative. So, if we look at this, the numbers themselves, we don't even have to look at. We just look at the signs. We have a negative divided by a positive. Those signs are different. And if the signs are different, that means that your answer is going to be negative. So down here in the answer spot, I'm going to put a negative right now so that I don't forget it. Okay, now we can look at the division. Whenever it's written like this with a division sign, it's almost never written like this. But when it is, the first number is the number that goes on the inside of the division. So 225 divided by 1.5. That's how you would write it as a division problem. Okay? Now, the whole part of this lesson, the whole division with decimals thing, is that you cannot divide with a decimal on the outside. You have to fix it. You have to make this into a whole number. And the only way to do that is to move this decimal to the right. Sometimes you'll only have to move it once, sometimes you'll have to move it twice. It's as many times as you need to move that decimal until you have a whole number out there. So if I move it one time, now I have 15 instead of 1.5. So one time is all we need. But you can't do it to just the outside. Anything you do out here, you have to do the same thing in here. Okay, well, I don't see a decimal, but I've told you many times, whenever you don't see the decimal, it's hiding at the end. So, even though there's no more numbers, we still have to do the same thing. If we move this one time to the right, we have to move this one time to the right too. Okay, so you have a blank spot there. In the blank spot, you would put a 0. So now we have fixed our division problem. So we have 2250 divided by 15. Now we can actually do this division. 15 will go into 22 one time. That's 15. Subtract, and I get 7. Bring down this 5. 15 goes into 75 5 times. That's 75. Subtract, and you get 0. Now, you have this extra 0 here. You cannot just forget about it. You have to take it straight up. That's what most people miss. They don't do anything with that 0, and they think that the answer is just 15 when it's 150. Okay? So, back in our answer block, we already said that it's negative, so don't forget that. It's negative 150. Okay, so that's example A. Example B is still a division problem. It's just written a different way. You may not have realized it, but all fractions are really just division problems. It's top in, bottom out, like you've heard us say a lot of times. Okay, so first thing I want to do is look at my signs. I have a negative divided by a negative. Negative divided by a negative. If the signs are the same, your answer is always positive. So since my answer is positive, I don't have to write a negative sign in there, and really, I don't even have to pay attention. I don't have to pay attention to these negatives anymore at all, because it's just going to be a positive answer. Okay, so let's set this up. Top in, bottom out, I have 100.5 divided by 0.05. Okay, I cannot have a decimal on the outside. I have to move it as many times as I need to until it's a whole number. So if I move it one time, okay, now I just have 0.5. I need to move it another time. Now I have 5. Anything you do out there, you have to do on the inside. So 1, 2. I moved it twice there. I have to move it twice here, even if I've run out of numbers. So I fill in this blank spot with a 0. Now I'm going to rewrite it. I have 1, 0, 0, 5, 0 divided by 5. Okay, now I'm going to do my division. 5 will not go into 1, but it will go into 10 2 times. 2 times 5 is 10. Subtract and you get 0. Bring this 0 down, and how many times does 5 go into 0? 0 times. A lot of people mess that up. Okay, 0 times 5 is 0. Subtract and you get 0. Bring down this 5, and 5 goes into 5 one time. Okay, 1 times 5 is 5. Subtract and you get 0. And you have this extra 0 at the end. You just bring that straight up. So your answer is positive 2010. Okay, you guys try your turn number 1.